All right, a real quick video about accessing work for this week. I don't think I'm going to tell you anything you didn't know. So go into the work for the week of October 6th, which is chapter 5. When you when you click on it, this is everything that will help give you a better understanding. I want you to do the pre-class survey. Try to do it by midnight on Tuesday the 8th. I will I will remind you. Okay. There are lectures and videos for the chapter. You find the mini lecture here. There were only uh, all that we share and the importance of empathy were the two videos that were actually mentioned in the textbook. They do that. What do they call it? Watch and discuss. I am also including this one. I love. I show it in every single class I've ever taught. I work it in somehow. I think it's got some great information. I'm encouraging you to watch the Monkey Business Illusion. It has to do with the perception process. And I am including a short, kind of funny video by Dr. Brene Brown where she has talked about the difference between empathy and sympathy. And we're going to spend a lot of time talking about empathy. Okay. When you're reading a section, if you say, I'm really confused, I didn't get some of the ideas, I'm going to encourage you to go into here and ignore my cat Madeline, who's just upset for some reason, and take a look at, if you said, I really didn't understand the perception process, watch this. I have no idea why they all say source. Okay. If it was influences on perception, boy, I really didn't understand that. Watch this video. And then there's common tendencies in perception and synchronizing our perceptions. Okay, so let me back out of that and go back here. Okay, so the discussion for this week is I want you to talk about a time when your perception did not line up with what you ultimately found to be the reality. And so what I'm going to do is ask you to pick one of the topics from the chapter. Could be anything, but let's say it's one of the common tendencies, like we make snap judgments. And so you're going to say, here was the situation. And this, what I believe happened was that I make snap judgments. And then you're going to use the textbook explicitly. So you're going to say, okay, let's see. You can say, I don't know, you go into there and you're gonna say, let's see. The textbook says that making a quick decision is a survival skill, but in many cases, judging others without enough knowledge or information can be problematic. Okay, so that I want you to come into this discussion with a quote already picked out. So basically, what I'm seeing, not for everybody, but I would say a small but not insignificant number of students are coming into the class without having done the homework of being prepared for the discussion. So just there's a rule of thumb that they talk about for college classes, which is for every hour you spend in class, you need to budget an hour and a half to 2 hours. So a class that's like what we call it a 3-hour class, you need to be spending outside of the class, you're looking at about 6 hours of work, which is doing the reading, doing the exercises, doing the homework. And if you're not spending that kind of time and your grades aren't what that you want them to be, then that is probably the problem. Okay. So anyways, make sure you have the quote. Explain what you have done in the past or could do in the future not to make that same error in perception, and then try to get the discussion going. Okay. As always, I have supplemental material that you can use to improve your understanding of the topic, or if maybe you really like chapter 5 and you want to write a journal about chapter 5, here are an article, video, article, the implicit association test, video. It's an article with an audio. This is from, I think, NPR. Video, article, article, and article. Okay, go back here. Okay, so let me just skip over the journal for 1 second because that's going to take a little time. There's the quiz as always. You have 2 attempts to do it. I really encourage you do it as early as you can. Figure out what you're not getting right. Ask questions in class, reread sections, and then retake it. So everyone should be getting 10 or 11. Okay, should. It would be very good if you could work towards getting a 10 or 11 each time. The post-class feedback, you do not have to write anything here. You do that in the chat, and I put the grade in here. Let's look at the journal. For the journal, which is going to be due on October 13th, you have a choice. Chapter 4, the self. Chapter 5, perception. Chapter 7, nonverbal communication. Just pick one of those. And from whichever chapter you think was most interesting to you, you again have choices. You can talk about something that happened in your past. You're going to analyze something, a communication experience. Okay. If you say, I don't know, my life is boring, nothing's happening, you can say, but I'm a big fan of It's Always Sunny in, what's the town? Philadelphia. And there was an episode where they looked at perception. I have no idea. I never watched the show. Maybe you're going to write about that. Okay. Or you say, I don't watch TV. I don't see movies. My life is boring. So take a look at those supplemental material and pick one of the videos or the articles. Don't make this too complicated. Don't say, I'm going to do something that combines chapter 4 and 5 and 7. No. One chapter and one, either something that happened to you, something that happened in a TV show or movie, or something that happened in one of the articles or videos. But please make sure when you do that you give a good summary of the situation you were in, or the movie that you're analyzing, or the video or article that you're analyzing. Like what happened, who was involved, what happened. Make sure you say what course concept helped you better understand this. And that's a good spot for you to actually reference the textbook, to quote the textbook. Very important. How are the behaviors you're writing about influenced by the surrounding culture? This is the aspect of the journal that is culture or social phenomena. Okay. And then, even if you weren't necessarily writing about yourself, because you read this article, watched this video, watched a TV show, saw a movie, what's a takeaway from this experience that you can actually apply to your own communication? Okay. So, alrighty. And please, a lot of people are forgetting to do this. Let's see. Be sure to clearly label each journal. So you are going to save the journal as your last name. So let's say your last name is Smith and you're doing chapter 4. You would save your file as Smith Journal Chapter 4. Okay. Let me click on this thing because some people are not doing things correctly. I want to show you the rubric. And it's this little icky. Okay. Gotta scroll down a little bit. Under the format, you have to make sure that the margins are 1 inch. I'm not going to read this to you because you can read. Look at the rubric. If you are confused by what this means, go back to course content. You're going to go to the very first week, the introduction to the course, and watch this video, submitting work and accessing feedback. It tells you how, how to submit work and then how to see the feedback that I have given you. At this point, every time I give you feedback on a discussion and every time I give you feedback on the journal, I give you an update. This is your current average. So you should not have to ask me, how am I doing in the class? If you are reading my feedback, you know how you are doing. And if you are confused, instead of sending me an email asking me that question, send me an email saying, I'd like to meet with you. And then I will ask you to turn your camera on and show me on your computer what you're doing. So that way I know that you know. Okay. I hope all of this makes sense to you. Let's see. I don't think I have anything else to say, so reach out to me with any questions, and otherwise I will see, if you don't have any questions, or even if you do have questions, I will see you all on Wednesday the 9th. Have a good evening.